On Wall Street, stocks are falling and so are hopes for an economic recovery. The Labor Department said today that America lost 63,000 jobs in February. Adding to the trouble, credit and real estate markets also aren't faring well. Economists say we may be headed towards a recession. The United States is trying to strengthen sanctions against Iran over its nuclear program. Iran says it's not developing nuclear weapons and that its program is for peaceful means only. In order to succeed, the United States will have to get Russia and China on its side. And there's no indication that's going to happen. Wayne Besen, 2 News. The New Jersey Nets will not be moving to Brooklyn anytime soon. In recent weeks, community opposition has intensified, making a deal much more difficult. However, Bruce Ratner, the co-owner of the Nets and prominent businessman, vowed to fight on to bring the Nets downtown and revitalize the area. The presidential race is heating up. It's turning into a real dogfight. And the winner of tonight's debate in this hotel may end up getting the nomination. All the focus on protecting our children from illegal drugs, prescription drugs are often overlooked, and they're becoming a big problem. Indeed, the American Medical Association said that prescription drugs, if misused, can be harmful and even deadly.
Barack Obama's tent large enough, though, to handle someone who says he's ex-gay?
Well, first of all, Barack Obama has run a really nice campaign so far. He stayed above the fray. It's somebody I admire. However, when we see him embrace somebody who's an extremist like Donnie McClurkin, it's incredibly dispiriting. It sends the wrong message, and it completely has nothing in common with what we've seen so far with this campaign. The subprime home lending crisis and the real estate bubble have economists increasingly jittery. They wonder, now that consumers can't take money out of their homes with refinancing as easily, how will this affect consumer spending in the coming months? Elliot Spitzer has resigned. His fall from grace was as swift as it was shocking, leaving people reeling all the way from New York City to Albany. The man once known as Mr. Clean for his anti-corruption efforts is now cleaning out his desk. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say there's problems with mercury levels in the fish. Their answer? Have a balanced diet and have fish no more than twice per week.
I've known you, I've debated you enough over the years, right?
This is an example.
No, wait. You defend, if anyone insults the gay community and use derogatory terms, you would defend, you would absolutely be outraged.
I would, but I don't see this as the case. You know what I see this as? I see this as an adult-themed costume party, number one. Number two, this is demagoguery. They are tired of seeing gay people marrying from Massachusetts to Iowa, serving in the military, and they want to switch the subject because they're tired of the positive images.
Here's the thing.
Monthly subway passes have now risen to $81 a month. That's a $5 increase, and the weekly pass has risen $1 a month to $25, and commuters aren't happy about it. It's a festive mood in New York City, and soon tens of thousands of people will stream into Times Square to ring in the new year. The confetti is arriving by the busload, and people are ready to party.
Reaction, Wayne Besen, executive director of an organization called Truth Wins Out. It was obvious that Jay Leno was just poking fun. He pokes fun at everybody. What exactly did he do wrong here?
Well, we understand that comedians are always trying to take it to the edge, and we shouldn't always be too critical. But I think there's a line that was crossed here. First of all, he told him to give your gayest look. I'm also Jewish. If an actor's first role was of a Jewish person, and Jay Leno said, give me your best look as a Jew, look Jewish for us, I don't think anybody would be laughing. And then Jay Leno went on to say, oh, well, aren't your parents proud that your first big role was of a gay person? That was incredibly insulting, as if there's something wrong with being gay. If you look at television now, you have gay joke after gay joke after gay joke. And the cumulative effect of people, especially those trying to come out in youth, can be very harmful. I've got a lot of people come to our organization, Truth Wins Out, who are trying to change their sexual orientation because they've been pressured. They're thinking of committing suicide. The effects are harmful. And I think these comedians should, it's one thing to be funny, but there's another thing to go over the line. I think we're people, not punchlines, and they have to remember this.
All right. But that's the problem. Where is the line? You heard the audience. They thought it was funny. And as you say, there are many imitators of, the lisping gay stereotype, and that always gets a cheap laugh. So where is the line? I mean, if you have gay performers, and you do have them, I mean, there's this show, the Dressing Up Show comes to mind, and they behave a certain way. And then people mock the way they behave or mimic the way they behave. Is that going over the line?
I think it's going over the line when the very act of just being a gay person is something that's seen to be ridiculed and scorned. When just being gay is the punchline, ha ha, you're gay, I think that's where the line is crossed. And I think we've seen this time and again with comedians. Jay Leno is just the one that got called on it this time. But I think that these writers had a long time on strike. They need to get new jokes or new jobs already. Enough.
Okay, all right. Other gay people see it a little bit differently than you. They say, look, we got to have a live and let live attitude because, you know, in our society, I get mocked all the time, and for varying reasons, people make fun of me, and some of it's malicious, some of it isn't. I didn't think Jay Leno was being malicious, did you?
I don't think he was being malicious at all, but I think that's the problem. We've been so used to hearing gay people as the butt of jokes. It's one thing to be laughing with us, and quite another to be laughing at us.
All right, but that's what we saw
in the
eye of the
Jay Leno
beholder, though. You know, Jay Leno is going to say, and I believe him, he's not a malicious man, Jay Leno.
No, not
he's
at
going
all.
to say, look, I wasn't effing at gays. I was just trying to do a funny bit. Maybe he would have made a certain face that the audience would have understood. But here's the bigger issue. It looks to me in America that you can't ever make fun of any minority group, ever, in any way, anymore in this country. I think that's where we are, really. You cannot make fun. You can make fun of white Christian men. You can make fun of famous people. But if you make fun of a minority, any minority, you said it yourself, if you're a Jewish guy, if you make fun of Jewish people, black people, illegal immigrants, any minority, you poke fun at them, you are going to catch hell. That's true, is it not?
I don't think it is true. I think if you look at comedy acts, there's a lot of groups being made fun of. I think there's a big difference between making fun of something that they do that is funny and making fun of who they are as individuals. The simple act of being black is very rarely made fun of, or being Jewish is rarely made fun of. But being gay, it's perfectly acceptable.
You know, things like that.
It's a double standard.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
I mean, believe me, Mr. Besen, I do this every night. I would never, at this point, poke fun at any minority group ever, because it is not going to be taken in the same way. Someone is going to be offended, and they're going to brand you a racist or a homophobe. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with it. I think that a lot of times people are branded that way because they act that way. What I will agree with is this. It's very difficult sometimes to see where that line is. It's something that's evolving. People have been used, for example, to make fun of gays for a long time. But I think it's time for them to really reevaluate what is funny, what is not. Jay Leno crossed this line. We're glad he apologized. And I think we'll be seeing more of this, but I don't think there's going to be any shortage of comedians who have a lot to say about groups and with a lot of humor.
Mr. Besen, thanks very much for coming on.